We're going to go ahead and replace our door hinge pin and bushings located on our upper door hinge up on the top here, and it runs through into the bottom. We're going to use our Sharpie marker and run around the perimeter, marking the body where the hinge is. This is going to give us a preliminary setting when we go to install our door hinge. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same on this side as well. Using a jack and some pads, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put a little bit of pressure on this door. We're not going to lift the door. We just want to apply a little bit of pressure here. That way there, when we undo that upper hinge, it's supporting that with the lower hinge. Maybe we clean this area right here, right across the seam, because when we open up the door, we're going to be putting a socket and extension in here, and we want to do what we can to protect the paint. We don't want to scratch that up with our tools. So simple masking tape will do the job. Let's go ahead and open up the door. Using a 13mm socket, swivel, and extension, we're going to go ahead and get to the upper forward bolt right here. And remove that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove this upper bolt right here. We're going to go ahead and remove the lower bolt right here. Then we're going to go ahead and remove this nut right in here. The whole hinge will then be able to be removed from the vehicle. At this point here, the whole top of the door will be supported by the jack and the lower hinge, which is still attached to the vehicle. So you want to be careful of the placement of the door itself, and want to make sure that doesn't swing forward and get marked up by making contact with the front fender. Using our 13mm gear wrench, let's go ahead and loosen this bolt right here. Gonna reach on in there and spin that bolt out. Let's go ahead and get that bottom one. We use a pry bar here just to gently pop this off. Remove that hinge. Now that we have our hinge off, this is the pin that we're going to be replacing. Now I went ahead and I cleaned off the top of our two pieces of our hinges here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an X on these two corresponding sides here. That way there, once we get this pulled apart, we don't accidentally flip this component and put it on backwards. Next, what we want to do on the bottom side, you can use a drill if you want, but the end of the pin unit here is peened over. I'm simply going to grind off the end of it, and then we'll go ahead and push that pin out. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses when you're doing this job. Now that we have that smoothed off, we're going to go ahead and punch that pin out, and we'll go ahead and get those bushings out, and we'll reinstall our new components. We're just using our punch to go ahead and drive that pin out. Now that we have our pin punched out, let's go ahead and clean up our components here. We want to get these bushings knocked out as well. Ours are just kind of crumbling apart, which is making it easy for us for our disassembly. Go ahead and use some pliers to work that one out. Go ahead and use your pliers, and we're going to go ahead and work this bushing out. What we did, we went ahead and we had to clear out and even out our holes on here for where our bushings are to go. When we took ours apart, it was a little bit damaged, a little ovaled out a little bit. So we were able to just clean up that hole a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and install our bushings. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of grease around here. Let's go ahead and line up our bushing. I'm going to go ahead and tap these in. Just going to use a block of wood just to sure it up. Go ahead and flip this over. We're going to do the same on this side here. A little bit of grease on the inside here. Grab that bushing. Go ahead and line that up. And make sure that those bushings are pressed in nice and even. Now we had that mark right there that we had marked, and we also marked this one here. I'm going to go ahead and we position this properly. Let's go ahead and set this up. I'm going to go ahead and tap this into place. Go ahead and install that pin. I'm just going to use our block of wood, tap this through. Should line up right with the bottom hole there. Here we go. Our pin is nice and flush here, and we're pivoting nice. Let's go ahead and install our hinge. Now I'm going to go ahead and get that nut started on that stud. Once that's started, I'm going to go ahead and jack up the door a little bit. That's going to get us close to where we can get a couple of these bolts started here. Now our goal is to get these bolts started by hand. And we'll go ahead and get the inboard bolt started. Let's go ahead and get that bolt started. Okay, now that we have that caught several threads, let's come back to the inside. Now that we have all of our bolts started, what we want to do is pay attention to our Sharpie marker that we had placed here before we removed the hinge. And our hinge is lining up with a Sharpie marker vertically here and the horizontal mark. So let's go ahead and start to snug down this nut here. So at this point here, we're still all lined up from the hinge to the body side, so we're going to snug this into place. Next we want to do is we want to go ahead and match up our lines on the hinge to the door side, and then we'll snug down those bolts there. So we went ahead and matched up our hinge to our Sharpie marker lines here. Let's go ahead and snug down our bolts. We're going to snug these down pretty good. I'm going to come to the inside nut here. We'll snug this one down, and then we'll put our socket in and tighten up the other last bolt underneath the fender area. Let's go ahead and get our socket on there. Snug that down nice and tight. Let's go ahead and lower the jack. Let's go ahead and test out the closing of our door. Nice and smooth. Now we can go ahead and remove the tape from our door. And you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.